Shalom Aleichem, Nisambula Banaka, no Emodi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'll be reading a book. The book is titled Andrew White Education. It's a book by Andrew White on Christian education, on proper education. So let me commence. It is a nice work ever assumed by men and women to deal with youthful minds. The greatest care should be taken in the education of youth, to vary the manner of instruction, so it is called forth on high, noble powers of the mind. Parents and teachers of schools are certainly disqualified to educate children properly if they have not first learned the lessons of self-control, patience, forbearance, gentleness, and love. One important position for parents, guardians, and teachers. There are very few who realize the most essential wants of mind, how to direct the developing intellect, growing thoughts, and feelings of youth. It's a period of training children and a time of educating youth, and it is essential that both of these be combined in a great degree in the schools. Children may be trained for the service of sin, for the service of righteousness. The early education of youth shapes the character in life and in their religious life. Solomon says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it. This language is positive. The training which Solomon enjoins is to direct, educate, and develop. In order for parents and teachers to do this work, they must themselves understand the way the child should go. This embraces more than merely having knowledge of books, it is everything that is good, virtuous, righteous, and holy. It comprehends the practice of temperance, godliness, brotherly kindness, and love to God and to each other. In order to attain this object, the physical, mental, moral, and religious education for children must have attention. In households and in schools, education of children should not be like the training of dumb animals. For children have an intelligent will. They should be directed to control all their powers. The dumb animals need to be trained, for they have no reason and intellect. The human mind must be taught self-control and must be educated to rule the human being, while the animal should be controlled by the master. The beast is trained to be submissive to the master. The master is a mind, judgment, and will for his beast. A child may be so trained as to have, like the beast, no will of his own. His individuality may have been submerged in the one who superintends his training, and the will to all his intents and purposes subject to the will of the teacher. Children who are thus educated will be deficient in moral energy and individual responsibility. They have not been taught to move from reason and principle, they will be controlled by another. The mind was not called down, and they might expand and strengthen by exercise. They were not directed and disciplined with respect to their peculiar constitution and capabilities of mind to put forth the strongest powers when required. Teachers should not stop here, but give special attention to the cultivation of the weaker faculties and all the powers may be born to exercise, carried forward from one degree of strength to another, to the mind attain great proportions. Children should be taught to respect experienced judgment and guided by their parents and teachers. They should be educated to their minds will be united, the minds of their parents and teachers, and so instructed, so they can see the propriety of heeding and in counsel. When they shall go forth from the grinding hand of the parents and teachers, and the characters will not be like the reed trembling in the wind. God never designed one human mind should be under the complete control of another human mind, and those who make efforts to have individuality of the people submerged in themselves and be mind, will, and conscience, and their pupils assume fearful responsibilities. I was educated Adventist at South Auckland Adventist Primary School and Intermediate, and Auckland Adventist High School. I was educated Adventist for years. These scholars may upon certain occasions appear like well-drilled soldiers, but when their strength is removed, there will be a want of independent action from firm principle existing in them. But those who make it the object is to educate their people so they may see, feel the power lies themselves, and make men and women of firm principle qualified for any position in life, are the most useful and permanently successful teachers. Their work may not show their purpose and branches to careless observers, and their labours may not be valued as high as the teacher may hold the will and mind of the scholars by absolute authority. But the future lives of the peoples will show the fruits of the bad plan of education. There is danger of both parents and teachers commanding and dictating too much, or they fail to come sufficiently to socialization of their children, of their scholars. They often hold themselves too much reserved and exercise their authority in a cold and sympathizing manner, which will not win the hearts of their children and their pupils. If they would gather the children close to them, they'll show their love and manifest an interest in all their efforts, and even their support, and sometimes even the children among them, they will make the children very happy. Will gain their love and win their confidence, and the children would soon respect and love the authority of their parents and their teachers. The principles and habits of teachers should be considered of greater importance than ever his literary qualifications. The teacher is a sincere Christian, he'll feel the necessity of having an equal interest in the physical, mental, moral, and spiritual education of his scholars. In order to exert the right influence, he should have perfect control of himself, and his heart should be rich and imbued with love for his pupils, which should be seen in his looks, words, and acts. He should have firmness and character, and he can mold the minds of his pupils, as well as instruct them in the sciences. The early education of youth generally shapes their character for life. Those who deal with the young should be careful to call out the qualities of the mind. They should better know how to disrespect their powers, and they may exercise the very best they can. Many children have been ruined for life for urging of intellect and neglecting the strength and of physical powers. Many have died in childhood because of the course pursued by injustice parents. School teachers enforcing the young intellects of flattery or fear when they're too young to see the inside of the schoolroom. Their minds have been taxed with lessons, while the children have been called out, but kept back in a physical constitution who is strong enough to endure mental effort. Small children should be left free as lambs to run out of doors, to be free, happy, and should be allowed to be most favorable opportunities to lay the foundation for sound constitutions. Parents should be the only teachers of their children until they have reached 8 or 10 years of age, as fast as their minds can comprehend it, and parents should open them God's great book of nature. The mother should have left love for that special in the house, in preparation of a dress for display, and short time to cultivate in herself and in her children. A love for the beautiful buds and opening flowers, by calling the attention of the children to the different colors and variety of forms, she can make them acquainted of God, who made all the beautiful things, by attract and delight them. She can lead their minds up to the Creator, waking the young hearts a love for the Heavenly Father, who has manifested so great love for them. Parents associate God with all their creative works. The only schoolroom for children from 8 to 10 years of age should be in the open air, amid the opening flowers and nature's beautiful scenery. And the only textbook should be treasures of nature. These lessons, imprinted upon the minds of young children, and pleasant and attractive scenes of nature will not be soon forgotten. In order for children and youth to have happiness, vivacity, and well-developed muscle brain, they should be much in the open air and have well-regular employment and amusement. Children and youth who are kept at school, confined to books, cannot have some physical constitutions. The exercise of the brain and study without corresponding physical exercise has a tendency to attract blood to the brain, and circulation of blood through the system becomes unbalanced. The brain has too much blood and the extremities too little. There should be rules regulating the studies in certain hours, and a portion of time should be spent in physical labor. And if the habits of eating, dressing, and sleeping were in accordance with physical law, they can obtain an education without sacrificing physical and mental health. The patriarchs and Adam to Noah, but with very few exceptions, lived nearly 1,000 years. The days of Noah, the length of life, have been tapering. He suffered with disease, reports Christ for him to deal the hill, where every town, city, and village were affected of all manner of disease, and disease has been steadily on increase through successive generations since that period. Because of the continued violations of the laws of life, mortality has increased to a fearful extent. Disease has been transmitted from parents to children, from generation to generation. Infants in their cradle, miserably afflicted because of the sins of their parents, which have been less than their vital force. The wrong habits of eating and dressing and the general dissipation transmitted as inheritance amongst their children. Many are born insane, deformed, blind, deaf, and a very large class deficient in intellect. The extreme absence of principle which characteristics the generation in disregarding the laws of life and health is astonishing. Ignorance prevails upon a subject, while light is shining all around them. For the majority, the principal anxiety is what shall I eat, what shall I drink, and wherefore shall I be clothed. Notwithstanding all that is said and written in regard how we should treat our bodies and appetite is a great law which govern men and women generally. Moral powers are precluded because men and women not live in obedience to the laws of health, with the subject of personal duty parents bequeath of the offspring, and then perverted habits, and the live since disease corrupt the blood and innervate the brain. The majority of men and women remain in ignorance of the laws of their being and indulge appetite and passion in the expense of intellect and morals. Seem willing to remain in ignorance as well of their violation of natural laws. They indulge depraved appetite and use of slow poisons, which corrupt the blood and undermine the nervous forces, and in consequence bring upon themselves sickness and death. Their friends call the result of their own course the dispensation of providence. Theirs they insult heaven. They rebel against the laws of nature and suffer the punishment of abused laws. Suffering and mortality alone prevail. Everything should, especially among the children. How is a contrast between generation those who lived the first 2,000 years? Unquiet of this tithe they're going to be prevented and such done to save the generation from ruin and friends them or shown to them the cause of existing proper state of things. The parents should feel an obligation to bring up the children in conform to physical law. Mothers love their children with an indulgence love and indulge their appetite, or they know they will enjoy the health of the children, therefore bring upon their disease and unhappiness. This cruel kindness is carried out to the great extent in the present generation. So the children are gratified at the expense of health and happy tempers, because it's easy for the mother for the time being to guide them before what their children claim. As system of education generations, back being conducted by an altogether different plan, if generations do not know how to be depraved and witless, the manager and teachers at school should have those understood physiology, or have been just in to educate youth in the sciences, but to teach them. So I was educated Adventist, so I'm going to teach the importance of Adventist education. I keep it in 10 segments so you don't lose track. Thank you very much for watching. We're off level for Excel and Shalom.